Hello everybody and good morning. Welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So we have been going over this book by Maxwell, Your Roadmap for Success. And today we are on chapter 9. So who else should I take with me when I decide to go on this success journey? So John said, the people closest to me determine my level of success or failure. The better they are, the better I am. And if I want to go to the highest level, I can do only with the help of other people, and we have to take each other higher. And this is very important. Now, I had to make this decision when I decided, or when I took a good look around me and I'm like, you know what? I want to do something different. I don't necessarily like everybody's life, even though I see that they're happy. I'm like, it's just not the route that I want to go. So when I made the conscious decision, I'm like, you know what? I want to change. I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself. And I want to go off and do something a little bit different from what I was used to. For those of you who don't know me, I grew up in a very small town with only 40 people in it. So careers were very slim to find. And I was like, you know what? I want to move. I want to go do something different. And there's a lot of personal changes I wanted to make as well. And as I decided that, okay, I laid out a list of like what I wanted to see happen. And I'm like, okay, in order for this to happen, I really need to change who's around me the most. Now, I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I knew before, but I just started spending less time with them and more time with the people that I needed to be around. So finding the right people for your journey, this is also very important. So having exceptional people on the journey with you doesn't happen by accident. It's true that the greater your dream, the greater the people who will be attracted to you, but both that alone isn't enough. You need to know what to look for in order to find the best possible people, and you need to start making sure you're compatible, that they are compatible with you and where you're going. So when looking at the qualities of a person, here's a couple things that you need to ask when you're looking for these people. So number one, does this person want to go? Many people have no desire to grow or to do anything different. It's outside of the comfort zone. They just want to be comfortable. They don't want to do anything else. So you have to ask that, because even though you can see that they may have the potential, they may not have a desire to go do anything else. Sorry. There we go. Joys of being at home, we have the cat here with us today, and he's trying to numb our feet. So Jeff's putting him in the other room. So anywho, number two, is this person able to go? So there has to be a match between the journey you want to take and the person's gifts and talents, because say you wanted to be a famous musician and you're a singer, you need to find other people who are also talented in music, because there's no way for you to actually make it into a career and be good at it if the other people's talents are not there. Number three, can this person make the trip without me? Does this person already have a strong desire and goal to go do it with or without you? So this is something that I think gets missed from time to time, because sometimes they say that they have a desire to go do something, and they are able. Wait, what is this? And they are able to go. However, their actions aren't actually showing it, and they have these talents and you can see that they can do it, but they don't have any desire, and they're not showing it with their actions that they really want to take that trip and that they are going to bring people with you. Sometimes these people are a little tricky, so you have to look very closely and be like, if I was not in this picture, would this person go without me? So that's a good question to ask. So what are some qualities other qualities that you want to go for? There's really 10 things that John listed in order of importance. And here's what you want to look for on your roadmap for success. So Jeff, I'm going to have you take over this part. Number one, make things happen.
Just getting back to my notes here.
Yeah, that's chapter 8.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we were on chapter 9. Yeah, we're on chapter 9.
Oh, well, I only sent chapter 8 to myself.
Do you want my notes? Anywho, here you go.
So, nice. Yeah, so I have my notes downstairs, but I can go through this. So make things happen. If you're going to take, control, I know, get with the plan. I know, what the hell? Sending myself the wrong notes. I'm still on Wednesday. I mean, if you've, been living in the world right now, it's actually hard to kind of keep track of which day is which when you're working from home every day. Mm-hmm. What's up, sir? Dakota is here from Lafayette. Mm-hmm. So when you're out and you need to make things happen and you need to get this done, who do you count on? A lot of people are looking for outside sources to make things happen rather than looking internal at what you're doing. So he goes on to say, Andrew Carnegie says, as I grow older, really famous quote by him actually, he says, as I grow older, I pay less attention to what people say and I pay more attention to what people do. These people discover resources in places they thought were barren. They find prospects where they thought basically none existed. So the people who can make things happen is who you're looking for if you want to take people with you. If they can't make anything happen, meaning they're sitting waiting for inspiration, they're waiting for something to inspire them, you can bring them with you, but they're probably a follower, not a leader. Now, 2, it says they see and seize opportunity. So here's a perfect example. I do a training for network marketing on the south side of town in a hotel. We get done. We then go to a restaurant afterwards to kind of do the after event, and everybody grabs food. And there's probably 35, not quite 40 people. And we're checking out. And what was the event about? The event was about contacting. The event was about relationship building. The event was about making things happen, right? And we walk up to the counter and we're checking out. And I was one of the last ones because I was in a conversation drawing something out. If you know me, I draw. So I was drawing something out on a placemat or something with crayon. And I get done and I walk up and I look at the guy who's checking us out. Now, this is late night and it's a Denny's. This guy was about my height, but probably outweighed me by 100 pounds. And it was all muscle and it was obvious. Like, he had the sleeves rolled up and I mean, his forearms were so big, it looked like he had an extra large stretched out shirt. And, you could tell, when people get their hair cut on a regular basis, you can just tell, like, this guy paid attention to that. He was also tan, and it was the south side of town during winter. Has nicer clothes on than I've ever seen anybody, and in shape. Like, so first of all, you're working at Denny's late night, and you're in incredible shape, like bodybuilder, stage competition shape. That's weird. And I look down at his wrist, and he has a gold and silver, or gold and metallic Rolex Daytona on. And if you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. But it's a $20,000 watch. And I'm like, okay, this guy does not belong here, right? I mean, I was like, hey, just real quick, I know this is a strange question. I'm like, that's a really nice watch. He's like, yeah, it is. And I was like, so what's the story? You've been working at Denny's long? He's like, no, only about a month. And I was like, okay, what's up? Because, I kind of, see that you're out of place here maybe a little bit. And you could just tell his attitude, like he was just frustrated. He goes, well, that jewelry store downtown Indianapolis? I'm like, yeah, I know about where that is. He goes, well, they dropped a steel beam through the ceiling and basically ended my business. The city's going to get something about it. And now we're fighting, and now the construction crew and lawsuits and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, man, I needed, I've got money, but I needed income to, keep coming in. So that way I wasn't just burning through my own stuff. And then there's the lawyer fees. And he goes, I used to manage restaurants. And he had an accent. And I was like, okay, where are you from? New York. By the time I got done talking to him, I'm like, look, I have no idea. I mean, obviously you want to get back into doing what you're doing, but, you know, if you're open to something else, he's like, yeah, I might be. So we ended up trading information. There were 35 approximately other people that walked by, checked out, walked right by the same guy. Why didn't anybody else contact him? Because they weren't there to seize the opportunity. They weren't there. They didn't even see the opportunity. And that's part of the problem is there's no school or there's no class in school on seizing opportunities. There's no class in school and even spotting an opportunity. And most of the time, an opportunity doesn't look like an opportunity because it's usually dressed in overalls and look like a lot of hard work. So most people just like pass it by. So leadership is influence. And the next key is not only do they see and seize opportunity, the people you want to take with you also can influence others. If they can't influence others, they're just not, they're a follower and not a leader, which is completely okay. So who influences them? Who do they influence? So who influences them? That's something that's, you know, great to find out for two reasons. First of all, it gives you a really good idea of who you're talking to. Drew's here. What's up, sir? It gives you a really, really good idea of who actually you're talking to based on what they value. If somebody says, hey, you know, this is the person that I really respect. This is a person that I really like. And that's the person they're talking about. And, you know, sometimes it's a movie star and sometimes it's a celebrity and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's somebody you don't know. But it's really good to find out who that person is, because if you can find out who that person is and you know basically their value system, how and what they're about, you get to find out a lot about what this person likes too. And then you can, A, build a relationship and have rapport and have a conversation. The second thing that you're going to be able to do with this information is once you know that, now you can influence this person. Because you can use, well, this person that you like said, or the best case scenario is actually physically getting a hold of that person and having that person tell them what you want to say. In network marketing, this works with upline, the team building concept. You find out who somebody is most influenced by in the team, and then you pass all the information through that person rather than directly. So, who do they influence? Look around and see when they say something, who goes what direction, who moves. Is their influence increasing or decreasing? You can actually see this as somebody moves through life. You know, they might have influence at a certain place, certain job, and then they switch jobs and then their influence disappears because it was based on the job and it was based on maybe their position that they had inside of some company, that people weren't listening to them because they really had leadership and really had influence. They were listening to them, listening to this person because of the title they held. And this happens very often at work, and then people leave and they're like, hey, you know, that job wasn't that good anyway. All those people, you know, they don't even call me. They don't even keep in touch with me. This is weird. That might be why. So they add value. The next is number 4, they add value to other people. So you just have to look at the people you're around and say, are these people adding value? The first thing is, are they adding value to themselves? You know, are they doing anything to improve themselves? And I found most people are lazy. Most people don't add value to themselves. Therefore, if you're not adding value to yourself, are you going to be able to add value to anybody else? And the answer is no. If you read John Maxwell's 21 Laws of Leadership, he talks about this, that if you don't add value to yourself, it'll almost be near impossible to add value to anybody else. Bill's here. What's up, sir? And if you don't add value to other people, it's harder to influence them. So this kind of all wraps together in a way. It says there's 2 kinds of leaders. One's that basically find followers and another one that finds leaders. So this is a list to figure out who you're dealing with. Leaders will attract more leaders who will attract more leaders. Your group can grow exponentially, where if you're just collecting followers, you're adding to what you're doing, but you're not multiplying. So I'm going to skip that list. Skip that.
I take very detailed notes, so.
It says in the long run, you can only lead people whose leadership ability is less or equal to yours. So this is the law of leadership. Morgan, how are you? Hopefully you are healthy and well here in this craziness. 6, they equip others. So another thing that you need to look for is, are the people you're around, do they equip others? Is this person always handing out, hey, I read this somewhere, or hey, I learned this somewhere, or hey, here's this video, here's this program. Do you have the ability to give what you know? A lot of times people will learn stuff, and in the art field, you can learn stuff by doing it over and over again, but you can't necessarily give that away. You can't equip somebody else to do it necessarily. In some cases you can. You can say, hey, this is how I trained, this is how I learned, this is the person I went to. But in a lot of cases, it gets skipped over. What's up, sir? So, it's only when we develop others that we permanently succeed. Because when you develop others and you can build the organization underneath you, or the organization you're building, especially in MLM or direct sales, they say it's the team beneath you, but it's not beneath you, it's just the team you're attached to, the team you're actually building, has a lot to do with how far are you helping them succeed. So number 7 is, do they provide inspiring ideas? When ideas are asked to be given, are these people the ones coming up with ideas, or are you having to come up with everything? Again, we go back to the 21 laws of leadership. John says that if you're the one coming up with all the ideas all the time, it may be because you don't have influence over others. It may be because you're leading followers. There's a couple things to evaluate there. But what kind of ideas do they come up with? It says this actually came from Art, was it Cornwell?
Yep.
Art Cornwell, who was an author, talking about corporate management. He said, look, the only ideas that are bad ideas are the ones that you don't talk about, because the ones you don't talk about would have inspired other ideas. 2, it says if you want good ideas, you need lots of them. So I found that to be true. Like when we're in the process right now of, I'm going to jump back in and start buying houses and investing. So when I did that, the very first thing I thought about was, okay, we need some ideas of, entity structure. We need some ideas of how we're going to put this together. And part of a seminar that I watched had that. So I started writing down ideas of company names. And instead of just writing down one company name, I wrote down 10, 15. And I was like, okay, which company name should we start with that's going to be the holding company to hold on to the properties themselves? Actually, it's going to hold the trust, and the trust will hold the property. But this was just a question that I had, but it had to come up with lots of ideas, right? It doesn't matter the old saying, if it ain't broken, it's not worth fixing. What he says is, based on ideas, you always want to kind of evaluate what's going on here. And yes, it might be working, but there may be a way to improve it. And this goes a little bit against direct sales and network marketing, because in direct sales and network marketing, they say don't invent anything, don't come up with new ideas, just follow the system. Basically, be blind and just, we'll lead you where you need to go. Which is funny because it's exactly the conflicting info that it says wake up and see what people are shoveling at you. So there's some conflicting stuff there. You have to kind of read between the lines and see what needs to be done. But you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But it is up to you, 100% responsibility. Dave Peters is here. What's up, sir?
Now, the reason that they do that, too, with Jeff mentioning that, the reason that they do that is most people need exact instructions in order to go do something. Because when you're brand new and you have no idea how to contact, no idea how to invite, or any of those things, or if you don't know how to present, you need exact instructions of what to go out and do. Otherwise, if people don't know, they're just gonna not do anything. So the reason that the company does that, and they're a little hesitant for change, is anytime you change something, you're gonna lose about half of the organization. Because some people, like if you're at work, if somebody came in and you're like, you know what, stop everything, we're changing all of this over here. It's gonna take probably 6 months for us all to learn this, but you guys need to stop doing it this way, we're gonna do it this way. Most people are like, I'm out, you changed it. Jeff actually talked about personalities on class last night, and a majority of people have an S-type personality, and if you change anything, they're like, nope, nope, this isn't comfortable anymore, I'm done. So that's why the company is a little hesitant to do a lot of changes, because they don't want to upset the market too much. But if it's absolutely needed and if people see it, they are willing to change it if it makes sense, but you have to show that it makes sense. So, Jeff, I will put this back to you, but I wanted to put in that comment just in case you were wondering.
So, great ideas are nothing more than basically restructuring what you already know into a better plan. When all of your ideas are added together, the sun should basically, represent your breakthrough. So the sum, not the sun, the sum should represent your breakthrough. Number 8, it says, they also possess uncommon positive attitudes. So again, if this person's around a lot of people, is this person bringing kind of light to the room, or are they darkening the room? Some people brighten the room, some people darken the room. Some people are a black hole and suck all the life out of the room the moment they walk in. Oh my God, you're not going to believe my hip, and this happened today, and I had this happen, and this happened, and you're not going to believe what, anybody who starts it, you're not going to believe what happened to me today. It's really attention getting, but it's not a positive attitude usually. It's an ability to seek and monopolize people's time. Because they just don't feel important, and they don't feel like people pay attention to them. And a lot of times, as a little kid, people will get attention how? As a little kid, how do kids get attention? They cry, and therefore they get attention. So they learn very quickly that if they fall and cry, that they're going to get a ton of attention. Now, obviously, you want to give them attention if they fall hard, but you see a lot of kids will do kind of like the flop, and it's not really, they really didn't hurt themselves. They're doing it to grab attention. The problem is that adults do the exact same thing, only they start out with, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. This is what happened to me. And a lot of times it's medical based, or it's, sickness based. I mean, obviously right now, people are saying, oh my God, I might have it. So, number 9, they live up to their commitments. So number 9 is they're going to live up to their commitments. They're going to do what they say they're going to do. Commitment is doing what you say you're going to do long after the feeling is gone. You're going to follow through. You're going to, get to the end. And one of the issues people have with following other people is they just don't seem to finish anything. They're the idea people. Got some really, really good friends that are idea people. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And it's the next idea and the next idea and the next idea. But they just never get anything done. Or they'll start working, make 5 steps in one direction, and they're like, no, I went the wrong direction. I'm going to run the other direction. And then, they get about 10, 15 miles out, and they're like, oh no, this was wrong too. I'm going to go south instead of north. Eventually you realize they end up within about 15 minutes of their house, they just kind of circle. It's just they think because they're going like this from right to left or left to right that they're getting somewhere. They don't track anything, so they have no tracking system to understand that they're right where they started, but to them it seems different. I did this for years, so I totally relate to it. Last but not least, number 10, it says they have loyalty. And John goes on to say, loyalty is one of the hardest things to find today. Why? He said, loyalty, this alone does not ensure success, but lack of loyalty will for sure ruin your relationship and being able to get to success. It says when you're looking for potential leaders, if someone you're considering lacks loyalty, they're basically automatically disqualified. What does it mean for others to be loyal? So John kind of has a list of what to look for. He said basically they love unconditionally, so they're not looking at exactly what's happening. They're looking at the overall picture. They represent you well to others. So this is where, in a MLM direct sales network marketing setting, you're lifting up the people you're around you. These are the great qualities they have. So it's either edification or compliments. Next, they're able to laugh and cry along the way. So these are people who are taking the trips with you. The people who stay at home are on the team, but they're not part of the team moving forward. Does that make sense? They're on the team, and a lot of people are on the team. A lot of people sign up, and then they throw out all their excuses of why they can't, why they shouldn't, why they don't. And they're on the team, but they're not really part of the team that's moving forward. They're just there, card-carrying members. We have a lot of 007 agents in the industry. And what I mean by 007 is, the license to thrill. They talk about it, but they don't go do anything. They're 008 agents, maybe, I don't know. Next, they basically make their dreams your dreams and your dreams their dreams. Meaning, they basically come together where we're going to get there based on what we said we're going to do. And I'm going to make all this happen. And if I make it happen for you, then I know it can happen for me. That's kind of the direct sales idea. So you have to congratulate other people for their success and help them get to where they're going if you're all part of the same team. So, Ryan, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, so this was a great chapter. I actually really enjoyed this one. I liked Bess's video yesterday. That was also a fun chapter. I was actually a little sad I didn't get to go over that one, but Bess is also a really good person to go over that chapter as well, so I hope you guys enjoyed her yesterday. If you guys would like to get our notes, we are emailing our notes for each chapter to you, so I will be posting a link in the comments. Also, we do have a YouTube channel. So if you would like to go, if you guys later would like to go back through and rewatch these videos, and I know Jeff posts a lot of posts during the day and you might lose it. So if you go to our YouTube channel and follow the YouTube channel of MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, you'll be able to subscribe and follow us there as well. So with that, I will post the link and we will see you guys tomorrow, and it's Friday already.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Halfway
I don't know
through
what date
April.
it is. Halfway through April, we are almost there. So with that, we will see you guys tomorrow and catch you later.